welcome back to Inside Michigan Football. As promised, I'm now joined by our head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Coach, thanks for joining us. How was practice?
Oh, it was good. It was really good practice today. The energy was great. The execution was really good. So I was really pleased.
I hear you guys got pushed inside in our studio here. I had no idea what was going on outside, but you guys faced a little weather, eh?
Yeah, we did. Gary Hazlett, our equipment manager, tracks. There was some lightning in the area, and so we went into Glick, which is amazing. It doesn't even feel like it's so good and spacious and high with the building. So Al Glick, we think about him all the time, every day. And again, today was one of those days, and we just rolled right in and continued to have a really good practice.
Now, you guys have been at it for about a month. You're getting ready to play your first game on Saturday. How is the health of your roster?
That's a real positive. Guys have built up a really good callus, and there's very few minor, not long-term type of things, but a few guys are working through a few things. But the most healthy camp I can ever remember at anywhere I've ever coached. So that's a real positive. And I had a really good practice today. We're rolling. Everybody's excited to play.
Speaking of playing in the first game, as you announced and we talked on Saturday, Cade McNamara is going to get the first start. How have you been able to, or how do you go about grading the players, evaluating the quarterbacks, and come to this decision that in week one it's going to be Cade and in week two it's going to be JJ?
Yeah, taking it from the practice field into the game setting. Both are just playing at such a high level at a starter level. I know you and I have talked about this, a bunch, and we feel like, and we think both quarterbacks are playing at such a good level that we could, at a championship type level, feel very confident. And now you got to go see it in the games, and we'll do what's best for the team. Both are playing great, and I think I just can't see it any other way than a positive for our ball club. I know that's the way our players feel about it, and so do our coaches. But would you prefer Would you prefer to have only one good quarterback?
No.
Would you prefer to have quarterbacks? It's I just can't imagine a scenario where this isn't a real positive for Michigan football.
So let's talk about Cade for just a minute. You've mentioned a couple of times that he may be the most improved guy on this team. What has he done to show that improvement from the last time you saw him in the bowl game to what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, he's got a great command of the offense, throwing the ball really well, better than he's ever thrown it. Very accurate. He's improved his pocket presence, awareness, extending plays. He's even run. He's more athletic in spring training camp practices leading up to this game. So he has improved. And there's there's a ton of players right now that are just surging.
Yeah.
And it's almost daily, weekly. You can just see guys really making big strides.
How exciting is it for you? Because I want to talk about JJ in a minute, but for you to see those guys surge, especially at the right time. We talked on Saturday, and it was, Rayshawn Benny, who was surging at the defensive tackle position. Mason Graham, who you've said is going to start at the defensive tackle position. But as a coach, when you recruit these guys and you bring them here to Ann Arbor, and then you get a chance to see them grow, and they finally, for some of them, it takes 1, 2, 3 years, and the light bulb goes on and you see them surge. How much pleasure does that give you to see them do that?
Oh, ton. And guys like Ryan Bell, nobody's playing. He's playing at such a high level. It was already a high level. Blake Corum had a tremendous practice today. Donovan Edwards, Luke Schoonmaker, Eric All, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson again. I mean, really surging type guys. They just watch it and say, man, these guys are really jumping out of their skin, ready to play this first game. And same thing on defense. Junior Colson, just continues to look like the real deal at inside linebacker. Kalel Mullins, looks a lot like Junior in the way he plays. I mean, two really great inside backers there, and we'll see if Nikhai Hill Jr. Nikhai Hill Green is able to play this week. Hopefully midweek we'll find out where he's at. But there's lots of guys that are chomping at the bit, hungry, ready to play this game Saturday.
Last year we saw JJ in some spurts, and you didn't get a chance to see him this spring because he was recovering from a shoulder issue. What has he done to narrow the gap, and what does he continue to do to show you that he deserves this chance to earn the starting position?
A lot of good things. I mean, so many good things. There's been his playmaking ability is tremendous. He's making all the throws. So many times, I've watched him run 40, 50 yards and not get touched by anybody.
Yeah.
But the way he's going through his progressions right now and making his throws, I mean, that's a huge improvement. Not trying to turn water into wine every single play. Getting the ball, dispersing it to the playmakers, and but always ready to make a play, when he needs to. And surging, today's practice, Saturday's practice in the stadium, Fridays, he's put in his 4 best days of practice the entire training camp. He's surging. It's a lot of good things.
How long are you willing to let this competition play out as the season goes on?
Well, I just don't know. Just a person. I don't know the future, but definitely getting into the games, and seeing what happens is a good thing. Like I said before, I mean, if it is right where it is today, and has been for the last 3-4 weeks, where they're a lot neck and neck. I mean, you watch practice.
Yeah.
I saw you out there today. I mean, you probably see some of the similar things. That's a good thing. It's a good thing for our team. And as we talked about earlier, I mean, would you really rather not have
two good
quarterbacks?
You'd rather have 2. You might rather have 3.
I'm excited about Alan Bowman, Davis Warren. They're both playing really good. Davis Warren had one of those kind of days today that that things are trending up, and Bowman. I mean, the guys are doing good. They're really Matt Weiss is doing a great job coaching the quarterbacks. That's all I can tell you. And then we will. I don't know if it'll be game 1 or game 2 or game 3 or when it'll be, but Alex Orji's we'll be talking about him on one of these radio shows. He is really doing a heck of a job. So, yeah, it's
Well, you mentioned Matt Weiss, quarterbacks coach, also co-offensive coordinator. Sharon Moore, O-line coach, who's going to join us here later in the show, but also co-offensive coordinator. How have you seen those two guys work together to develop this offense?
Oh, really good. Really good. It's a collaborative effort, not only between Sharon and Matt, but Mike Hart, Grant Newsom, Ron Bellamy. I mean, I look at that whole offensive side of the ball, coaching staff. I mean, some great analysts as well. I mean, they're all pulling in the same direction, bleeding blue. And Biff Poggi has made a bunch of great contributions as well. And yeah, it's really good on that side of the ball. I see some of the same things from the other side of the ball. I mean, it's good. I talk about our players a lot. I know I've said that about our players, that they just attack everything you put in front of them, and there's zero entitlement on our ball club, and I don't see any in the near future. But I say the same thing for our coaches, and both players and coaches, as I said, bleed blue, attack everything that's put in front of them. They're not afraid of any challenge or any new challenge, and all that bodes well for really well for Michigan football. It's in that kind of a place. Great energy around the building and on the practice field and the meetings and the weight room. I mean, nobody better than Ben Herbert.
Yeah.
He's somebody that doesn't look for attention, doesn't seek it. There's never any shameless self-promotion, but I have got to pay him a compliment in terms of, we first hired Ben. He came in here, and it was the energy, the enthusiasm, the attention to detail. I mean, it was to literally a laser focus, figuratively and literally. The weight machines, he lined them up as in a laser. And that attention to detail, the extra effort of coaching and infusing guys in a positive manner, almost like a syringe of confidence, on a daily basis. And I look now 5 years later, and there's been absolutely no difference. I mean, he is the same guy every day. I mean, he does not take vacations. He does not observe major holidays. He's never got sick one time. He's a human jackhammer.
Yeah.
That's infused. It's been infectious, his entire strength staff, and it's been infectious for our ball club.
Well, I know two of the guys that have spent a lot of time in the weight room. Some of the hardest workers are in your backfield, and that's Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. What are your expectations for them as you enter week one?
And don't leave out Mike.
No.
Mike Hart is completely.
Are we going to see him?
Oh, wait till you get a look at Mike Hart. I mean, he's getting darn near close to playing weight.
Really?
Yeah, he's working out every morning. Every afternoon. I mean, he was running out there in the practice. He looked like Mike Hart. Mike Hart. He could.
Yeah.
He really looks. He looks great. That running back group is great. I mean, really two starters there in Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, two tremendous players. Both had great practices today. Both have had great camps leading up to this first ball game. And the third back is kind of an or. Tobby Dunlap or C.J. Stokes or Isaiah Gash have all been good, and I know Isaiah Gash is going to be good. I mean, what we see in practice, I can predict that you're going to see the same in the games. He's also a returner, but he can run all the inside runs, all the outside runs, catches the ball really well. C.J. Stokes is ascending fast, and Tobby Dunlap is really. I mean, there's arguably a guy that's most improved category, really taking care of the football, and playing his game, big back. And, working on catching the ball better. He's in the protections, knows him. Mike's done a great job, working with all those guys at that position.
Well, and I know we got to get to a break in just a second because I do want to talk about the defense and special teams, but you mentioned the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. We saw Donovan last year, what he did against Maryland with the 10 catches. We know that Blake can do that. You mentioned some other guys. What type of element of having those backs in the backfield that can't just run the ball but can also catch, how much more does that add to your offense?
It adds a lot. That's for sure. I mean, just as I sit here and talk about the guys, each one I'm as excited for to see in the ball game, and the team has a lot of confidence in each guy.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment. I want to let you know that tonight's show is brought to you by Meyer, presenting sponsor of the 2022 Michigan football season and proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. We're going to be back with Coach Harbaugh in just a couple of minutes. This is Inside Michigan Football from Learfield. Welcome back to Inside Michigan Football. We get a chance to continue our conversation with head coach Jim Harbaugh, and I do want to turn our attention to the defensive side of things. Jesse Minter entering his first season as defensive coordinator. What have you seen throughout camp from this defense?
I've seen, a real progression of guys running to the ball. I mean, that's something that kind of started out, and I think Jesse and the staff have done a really good job of just amping that up, every single day. And, that's what you want to see out of your defense. I mean, game one, want to come out of that stadium and go, man, that Michigan defense really flies around. They get to the ball. It's hustle. It's constant hustle. It's hustling at all times. With some new guys in some new positions, I think that's been a process, but I'm seeing it elevate each day. And there's plenty of talent there that has the license and the ability to go out there and be a heck of a defense.
When you talk about new guys, there's nobody newer than Yobe Onoma. What does he bring? How did that even come about? Yobe. I messed that up at the break. Yobe. How did that even come about in the middle of training camp? All of a sudden we get this new addition. And what does he bring to your program?
Yeah, so Yobe is, is somebody that I recruited out of high school and really enjoyed being around him every time I talked to him or made a visit. I got a text from him midway through camp that he was graduating in a couple days and asked if we'd be interested in having him come to Michigan. I said yes. No, I didn't say yes. I said I couldn't talk to him until he was in the portal due to NCAA rules. But after he went into the portal, then I was able to have a phone conversation with him, he wanted to come talk to Blake, Nakai, Derek, and they all I guess they'd already been talking to him too. And what do you think of it, Yobe? Yeah, we really liked him as a teammate. He's a great guy. Yeah, that's how I feel about him as well. And since he's been here 10, 12 days, he's a great guy to be around on a day-to-day basis. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he can do as early as game 1 or 2. We'll see what happens. But got him on special teams. Got him playing some edge rusher. I think he's going to excel.
What's the process of getting a guy like that ready to go?
We just he's a pretty experienced player. He played at Tennessee Martin last year. Had 11 sacks. Knocked the rust off the first couple of days. He was in acclimation. Mode could only wear a helmet, and but it was probably day 3, 4. Where as soon as he got the pads on, in some non-tackling drills, you could see there's some real talent there. And but every day he's been here, he's been. He tells me he loves it here, and you can you see it in his demeanor, and the players. He's a popular guy. There's guys that are on a football team, and he's one of them. It means a lot to him. He's really into football, and great guy to be around.
Yeah, one of the guys when I talk to not just defensive guys, but to talk to the team, they always mention Mazi Smith. Mazi Smith obviously elected one of the captains. Mikey Sammer still also on defense. But Mazi Smith, what are your expectations for him, and how have you seen him grow in his 4 years here at Michigan?
Yeah, grown so much. Been great development. I think this year, from last year to this year, this off season, I see him playing harder. Playing harder every single down, and I think he's going to have a huge impact. He's definitely a leader on our team. He was voted captain by his teammates. One of those kind of leaders, almost a Papa Bear type of leader. Guys listen to what Mazi says. They seek out his advice, and he likes talking to people. He likes talking to everybody. He's not one of those guys that's yelling and screaming and peeling the paint off the locker room walls. But when he talks, people listen, and he's always been a really deep kind of old soul type of guy. I think that's why he and I always have gotten along so great when we get in these really good in-depth philosophic conversations. I can't spell philosophic, but we get into those kind of conversations, and I really enjoy them.
When people say you lost so much production up front, when you lost Ajabo and Hutch, and you lost Josh Ross at the linebacker position, on the back end, Dax Hill and other guys, What's your response in regards to how do you fill those roles? How do you fill the production that those guys had last year that's just no longer here?
Starting at the back end, I mean, Dax was, he was so good. I mean, so fast. He could cover up a lot of mistakes by himself, and did. He was all over the field. I see surging guys at the safety position, R.J. Moten, Makari Page, Rod Moore, who started games at the end of the season last year. Consider those three guys, your starters. And, super happy. I've always seen Makari Page as somebody that has this great potential, has this great talent, and he's always shown it. I mean, from the time he was a mid-year freshman. And then sometimes during camp, it would fall off a little bit. Not this year. I mean, it's been a surging. That's why he's really earned that starting position status. The edge rushers, I see a bunch of improvement in the interior of the line. And when you look at Mazi Smith, Chris Jenkins I predict he would probably be the surest bet to be like David Ajabo was last year. Who the heck is Chris Jenkins? Where did he come from? How is he this good? That's he's kind of a beast type of guy, and infectious, great attitude as well. And the edge rushers, I'm looking at Taylor Upshaw, Mike Morris, Jalen Harrell as three guys that have the chance to, give us similar production that we had last year. Maybe it's not going to be exact, but I bet we can hopefully get close. And then with the improved interior part of that line, Mazi, Chris, Kenneth Grant surging, Mason Graham surging players, Dominic Gadis is really doing some good things, and Rayshon Benny is. It's you look up from one practice and it's three practices later, and you're seeing the same good play and even better and better and better and better. I mean, it's. Guys do get better. I mean, they improve by playing football, and they get some confidence. They get a counter move, and then they get another counter move. They got the ability to knock somebody off the ball, knock somebody back. Rayshon can do that. Mason Graham can do that. Kenneth Grant certainly can do that. Mazi can do that. Chris Jenkins can do that. Plus, he's got counter moves. It's really good. Derek Moore would be somebody as an edge rusher that also may really, surge as the season goes on. I mean, could get to the point where he's unblockable because he's so strong and fast. And as soon as he gets the motor of a Chase Winovich, of an Aiden Hutchinson, of a David Ajabo, then and another counter move, and then a second counter move, he could be unblockable.
Yeah.
So there's some exciting things going on in that defensive line. Josh Ross is another guy where you go, man, that was a really good player. I mean, we can go back to the Ohio State game and talk about the sacks the sacks from Aiden. We could talk about Ajabo, Taylor Upshaw's, but there was a stop in the third quarter where big 3rd and 4 maybe it was, that Josh made a tackle in the backfield on an incredible play. Just came around the guard, the center, got skinny, ducked, got into the backfield and made a huge stop when it was still a 1-score game. And then resulting punt, we drove, make it a 2-score game. I mean, that was as big as any of those plays. And really exciting news too. My brother John says Josh is going to make the team.
Oh, great!
Yeah, and I meant to tell the team that today. It's and I asked him.
Cut day is tomorrow, so that's big news.
He was doing great. John really thought he would make the 53. They've got a record at the Ravens, 18, 19 years of an undrafted player making the team. Mm-hmm. He thought that Josh's special teams ability, but his linebacker ability is what's really. I mean, there's just kind of a godsend for him to get a player like that to make the team at a position they really needed it. And what separated him from the beginning was his special teams play. That he'd been in a pro punt system. That not many. There was a huge advantage for him to be in a pro punt system like he was here at Michigan. The way Jay had taught him, and then it was second nature to him when he got to the Ravens. That gave him a big jump, and then he just played his way into making the team. So that's tomorrow we'll find out, but. Looks great for Josh Ross.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing this version of the Michigan Wolverines take the field against Colorado State, and we'll talk to you again on Monday night.
Same here. Thank you, John.